This video is called Anyone Can Develop Anticipation. Most people think anticipation is you have it or you don't, but that's not true. Everyone can develop it. But let's first talk about what anticipation is. It's not knowing the exact shot that's going to happen, but it's creating a higher probability of this shot's going to happen or this shot, and then you make the right decision, and therefore you can move in the right direction, sometimes even before the shot is hit. And that's why when you see great tennis players, for instance, they actually can move in the direction the serve is going to be hit if they're returning before the serve is actually hit, because they anticipate so well. Someone who anticipated immensely well was Andre Agassi. If you really watched him when he played back in the 90s, and he was one of the best tennis players in the world, he'd literally move before the serve was hit because he was a great anticipator. Well, how do you become a great anticipator? Well, in research that I've conducted at the University of Florida, we discovered that there's three main variables that make you a great anticipator. One is the cues you look at in the environment, which is, for example, your body or the racket or the head or your feet. Those are the cues. We also know that opponents' tendencies are important and situational probabilities. So for instance, if I'm going to hit a forehand, what we discovered is the best anticipators, they don't look at the racket, they look at my body right here, because that will determine if I hit a cross-court shot or down the line. If you look at the racket, it doesn't determine as much, or let's say my head or my feet. So it's really this central core area that determines it. So that is the cues. The next thing is opponent's tendencies. That means basically my habits. What do I like to do? And we usually go to our habits under pressure. So if I like to hit a forehand down the line, I'm going to go to a forehand down the line under pressure. And that relates to situational probabilities. For instance, let's say it's the last game of the first set and there's a lot of pressure. I'm going to go to my habit. I'm going to go to my tendency. And so if you're at the net and you know this, you can play for that shot to go down the line, and you can literally move before I hit it because you know the cues, you know situational probabilities, and you know opponent's tendencies. When you incorporate all three, you're going to be a great anticipator. Look at other sports. Look at baseball. Let's say you're at bat. It's a full count. You know the pitcher likes to throw a strike, usually down the middle, fastball. You can look for that. You look for the release point, right? Those are the cues. You know he likes this. That's the opponent's tendencies. That's his habit. And situational probabilities, it's a full count. So when you incorporate all three, situational probabilities, opponent's tendencies, and cues, you will become a great anticipator. And when you become a great anticipator, you will play your best under pressure.